Hi there, hope you all are doing fine. Today, I'm going to explain a Hungarian drama film called White God. Watch out for spoilers and take care.
Lili is a 13-year-old Hungarian girl. Hagen is a mixed-breed dog that she owns. Lili's parents are divorced, and she has little in common with either of them. Her only animal companion is her pet dog. She begins the film by playing with the dog in a park while her mother observes. She intends to relocate to the United States, leaving Lili permanently with her father, Danielle. Danielle is a butcher and has not seen Lili since she was 3 years old. He is surprised she brought the dog, as his apartment is too small to accommodate one. He is also not a fan of pets in general, but must make an exception for his daughter. When they arrive at the building, Danielle is informed by his landlady that pets are not permitted in the apartment. He says quietly that he will dispose of it in a few days. Lili disobeys her father even during dinner, feeding Hagen homemade food. They are forced to share a room due to the apartment's small size. Although the dog suffers from separation anxiety and is unable to sleep alone, Danielle continues to lock him in the bathroom. He sobs for an extended period of time, preventing anyone from sleeping. Finally, Lili approaches him and plays on her trumpet France Liszt's Hungarian Rhapsody No. 2. After listening to the song, the dog calms down and Lili retires to the bathtub for the night. They are awakened the following morning by someone ringing their doorbell. A canine control officer informs them of a complaint about their dog howling at night. Danielle initially attempts to conceal the fact that they have a pet, but the guy happens to notice Hagen in the apartment. Danielle is informed that he must pay a hefty mongrel fee imposed by the Hungarian government due to Hagen's mixed-breed status. He is adamantly opposed to paying money to keep a dog he doesn't even want. Lili takes Hagen to her music class that day because her father will not allow him to be alone in the house. Because pets are not permitted in class, she conceals him inside an instrument storage cabinet. However, when the music begins, a terrified Hagen bolts outside. Lili's music teacher requests that she put the dog away and remain in the classroom, but she disobeys and exits. The two are walking down the street when Danielle pulls them aside, enraged that he had been summoned by her music teacher. He has resolved to eliminate the dog at all costs. He begs Lili to surrender him to a dog shelter, but she is adamant about keeping him. He has had enough of her obstinacy and throws the dog out of the car. Lili sobs and pleads with Danielle to return the dog, but he forces her inside and drives away. The poor dog pursues them, unable to let go of his master due to the speeding car. He waits in the street for Lili for the next few hours, but she never returns. Lili awakens in the middle of the night at home and prepares to travel to Hagen, but she is apprehended by her father, who forces her back to sleep. Hagen regains consciousness after spending the night beneath a bridge. He searches the area for food and comes across a dead animal by the side of the road. After deliberating whether or not to eat it, he decides against it. He then makes his way to a butcher shop, where he gazes longingly at the meat. He is attracted to a white stray dog, which he pursues and eventually finds himself in the back of the shop. Numerous stray dogs are consuming the leftovers, but they bark at Hagen whenever he attempts to take a bite. This draws the butcher's attention, who chases them away. A naive Hagen remains in his place, infuriating the butcher even more. He is about to attack the poor dog with a knife when he is diverted by the white dog. Both dogs take advantage of the opportunity and run away to a puddle where all of the area's stray dogs have gathered to drink water. They are quickly apprehended and placed in cages by animal control workers. Hagen and his friend are able to flee while being pursued. He is pursued through the streets before being rescued by a homeless man. Following the workers' departure, the man ties a rope around his neck and keeps him as a pet. Meanwhile, Danielle returns Lili to her music class and forces her to apologize to the teacher for yesterday's incident. Following class, she secretly makes her way to the street where they had left the dog the day before. She searches the neighborhood in vain for him. Additionally, she distributes posters of the missing dog wherever she can. The homeless man later sells Hagen to a dealer. He is chained together with others of his kind in the back of a store. The following morning, a client named Szabolcs arrives looking to purchase a dog for competitive dogfighting. The dealer claims Hagen is unfit for combat because he is a lapdog, but Szabolcs purchases him regardless. Hagen is given a sleeping pill, which induces unconsciousness. Following that, Shabulks transports him to his home and provides him with a protein powder mixture. Shabulks regularly beats him to increase his aggression. He is primarily starved and caged throughout the day. He is only permitted to leave when Shabulks trains him. If he does not comply, he is brutally beaten. The dog's life has taken a drastic turn for the worse. Every day, Shabulks' training technique becomes more difficult. Hagen is no longer the gentle dog he once was. He eventually becomes extremely aggressive, ready to be released into battle. Meanwhile, Lili's search for him continues. She visits a dog shelter and inquires about him with the owner. She is informed that he may have been struck by a car or killed in a street brawl. Her day takes a turn for the worse when her bicycle is stolen from the shelter's parking lot. That night, Hagen is escorted to the battlefield by his master. The match's rules are straightforward. In order for one dog to win, the other must perish. Individuals wager on them and profit handsomely. When Shabulks introduces Hagen, everyone assumes he will lose. They even inform Shabulks that he could have performed better, but the man is confident in his training. Hagen and a Rottweiler begin their match. Both men are bloodied and injured following a bloody fight, but Hagen eventually gains a firm grip on his opponent and wins the match. A dog dealer approaches Shabulks, impressed by his abilities, and offers to buy him. They become embroiled in an argument when Shabulks refuses. The lights go out in the midst of it, and Hagen seizes the opportunity to flee. He flees the entire night, as far away from the dog dealers as he can. Lili, on the other hand, is fleeing home following the theft of her bicycle. She meets Peter, a classmate from her music class. He is about to leave for a high school party, which she has invited him to attend. He is initially hesitant to bring her, but figures she can be used to transport drugs to the party without being apprehended. He coerces her into concealing pills in her pocket, which she then smuggles into the party. Everyone there is significantly older than Lili, but Lili is unconcerned. She takes a seat in a corner and observes everyone dancing. She eventually falls asleep on the floor at the end of the night. The following morning, the police raid the party. Lili is taken to the police station after being discovered with drugs. Fortunately, her tests are negative, and she is permitted to return home with her father. Danielle sheds tears for the first time in years upon seeing his daughter alive and well. He'd been terrified the previous night. He apologizes for removing Hagen from her and offers to purchase her a new dog. Lili forgives and reconciles with her father, and the two return home happily. Meanwhile, Hagen returns the following morning to the puddle and reunites with his friend, the white dog. They are playing together by a river when animal control officers remove them and place them in a shelter. Hagen sustains an injury during the fight and is treated for it. He is placed in a cage alongside hundreds of other stray dogs and fed. While the majority of dogs devour it, he doesn't even look at it. The following day, individuals come to the shelter to adopt their preferred dogs. A young lady appears to be attracted to Hagen, but he barks at her and is aggressive toward the workers. The owner requests that he be euthanized. Lili is elsewhere, performing on the trumpet with her orchestra. Danielle is in the crowd to support his daughter. When Hagen attacks the dog handler, he is about to be thrown into a cage with the other dogs. He becomes aggressive and bites the man on the neck, eventually killing him. The other dogs immediately follow suit and rush out of the cage. Because Hagen is the one who liberates them, they elect him leader of the pack. The shelter's owner attempts to intervene, but he pushes her aside and flees with the others. They race through the city, causing havoc in their wake. People flee for their lives as the dogs attack everyone in their path. Eventually, the dogs make their way to Lili's concert. They encircle it on all sides, forcing the audience to barricade themselves inside the auditorium for their own safety. The performance comes to a halt as everyone panics. Lili detects Hagen's presence and rushes outside, despite Peter's warnings. Lili and Peter ignore a stranger's warning not to go downstairs because the entire city is on lockdown. Finally, she cycles down deserted streets in search of Hagen, convinced that she can put an end to the mayhem. Eventually, she is pursued by a pack of dogs. They ignore her as she falls to the ground, as if they are on a mission. As it turns out, Hagen is leading them to all the people who have wronged him previously. To begin, he locates and approaches Shabulks. Soon after, he is joined by his pack, who attack him, leaving a bloody trail of destruction in their wake. They have already left by the time Lili arrives at the location. A police officer locates her and places her in the car. However, she escapes and cycles away in search of Hagen once more. She arrives at a meat market and discovers the butcher dead on the floor. He was the same individual who attempted to assassinate Hagen earlier in the film. She calls Danielle and requests that he remain inside at all costs. On the other hand, he is concerned for her safety. In another location, the police shoot and kill several dogs, but more continue to arrive. The pack then proceeds to assassinate the dealer who sold Hagen in the market. Their final target is Danielle. Lili returns home on her bicycle and discovers her landlady has died. She panics and flees to her apartment, realizing what Hagen is up to. Recognizing that her father's life is also at risk, she flees to the auditorium. Danielle is relieved to see her safe. Lili is quickly approached by Hagen, who appears to have forgotten about her in the aftermath of everything he has been through. His army joins him as he growls at Lili. They are about to attack her when Danielle approaches with a blowtorch in order to divert their attention and save his daughter. Lili plays Franz Liszt's Hungarian Rhapsody No. 2 on her trumpet until they finally calm down. Hagen finally recalls her as a result of the song. He regains his composure and the pack follows suit. They were all sprawled on the ground, transfixed by her performance. Danielle is taken aback and relieved that she is safe. Finally, she joins the dogs on the ground. The film concludes with Danielle joining them.
Thank you for tuning into Motion Recap. Subscribe for more videos like this